Hi, my name is Doug Duffey, and I'm here to talk with you about an incredible investment opportunity in the Maple Valley Steakhouse. In 2014, shortly after my wife and I married, we began looking for our very first home. But faced with the rising prices of the Seattle market, we needed to look further outside the city limits. And that's when we came across the city of Maple Valley. See, it's a young community that's actually starting to grow. It offers extremely affordable housing, and so we're seeing a lot of young families migrate here from outside the city. As the population continues to increase, we're seeing more and more infrastructure go in. It was the perfect place for us to call home. After we found the perfect house and unloaded the boxes, we began to get back into our routine. But we quickly realized there was a very important piece missing. See, my wife and I cherish our date nights. We love to go out and enjoy a nice meal and a fine glass of wine. One of our most favorite places was our local steakhouse. But we soon realized that Maple Valley doesn't offer a steakhouse. In fact, if we wanted to enjoy that nice meal, we would have to drive 20 to 30 minutes from our house, enjoy that meal, and then commute all the way home. It just wasn't viable. After talking with some friends and other members of the community, we soon realized there was a strong demand for a steakhouse close by, and thus was born the idea of the Maple Valley Steakhouse, a restaurant focused on providing a fine dining experience with quality steaks and exquisite wines. But before we talk a little bit more about the business, let's step back and look at the restaurant industry. As you can see, over the past several decades, restaurant revenues have increased significantly. In fact, it's forecasted that in 2016, revenues will be 33% higher than they were in 2010 and over 100% higher than in the year 2000. Furthermore, this industry is forecasted to add over 1.7 million new jobs over the next decade. Looking at revenue growth throughout the United States, we see that the average annual revenue growth is expected to be about 5%. But fortunately for us, the West Coast in general has historically grown at a faster rate. In fact, in Washington State, it's expected that restaurant revenues will increase by 7% in this year alone. But despite the strong sales increases, the restaurant industry is susceptible to varying economic cycles. In fact, the National Restaurant Association has put together a Restaurant Performance Index, or RPI. Now, this index gathers a number of key metrics across the industry to measure the overall health. This includes information such as same-store sales, traffic, and capital expenditures. As you can see, over the past several years, the restaurant industry has varied in conjunction with the economy. As you can see, in 2008, during the Great Recession, the restaurant industry really struggled. But since then, it's made a steady comeback. Now, this brings us to a very important topic, and that's our target market. Our target market is middle to upper income households within the Maple Valley community. Specifically, we're looking at individuals between 30 and 55 years old with annual household incomes of $70,000 or more. The National Restaurant Association has actually done research and found that this specific demographic spends more per capita at restaurants than any other demographic. Fortunate for us, Maple Valley has one of the highest median household incomes within King County at $93,000. Furthermore, Maple Valley is also one of the fastest growing communities. The population is approximately 24,000 with a trade area population in excess of 65,000 people. The city is projecting this to continue to grow through the year 2020. Now that we know who our target market is, it's important to understand how we're going to communicate with them. Throughout our research, we partnered with a number of gurus who are not only familiar with the restaurant industry, but with Maple Valley as well. And through that research, we found that traditional means of advertising aren't necessarily cost-effective. Our members within the community aren't necessarily impressed with TV ads or radio ads or billboards along the street. They rely heavily upon word of mouth. And so the way we can communicate with them is through active social media and being involved in local community events such as the Maple Valley Days Parade, which happens every year, or partnering with local nonprofits such as the Valley Girls and Guys who raise money for breast cancer research, or going a step further and supporting local schools with after-school programs and fundraising. I'd like to turn our attention now and discuss a little bit more the competitive environment within the restaurant industry in Maple Valley. Through our research, we've identified a number of full-service restaurants whom we would consider our direct competitors. The first of which is Gino's Bistro. Gino's has been around for a number of years and is located in the heart of Maple Valley. Through our discussions with potential customers and reviews on Yelp, people really enjoy the food and the quality that they offer. Unfortunately, people have also commented that the parking is difficult, the location is a bit obscure and challenging to get to, and the prices of their meals are a little bit higher than people are comfortable with. The second competitor we've identified is the Maple Valley Bar and Grill. Now, this is one of the community's newest restaurants, and it's located also in the heart of Maple Valley. But they offer just what the name implies, a bar and grill menu. Although it's a little bit upscale, people have, for the most part, provided positive reviews on the quality of food, but they've noticed that the service can be quite slow, and it takes a lot of time to get quality service, especially on a Friday or Saturday. The final restaurant is Benjerong Thai. Now, this isn't necessarily located in the city of Maple Valley, but rather in the neighboring community of Covington. Benjerong offers Thai cuisine. Again, reviews on Yelp indicate people have an okay view of the quality of food. The pricing is right, but again, the service can be hit or miss. Now that we know who our competitors are, we wanted to take it a step further and perform a more detailed competitive analysis. Through discussions with our target market, they identified the top 3 considerations of any dining experience to be first, the atmosphere, second, food quality, and third, the price. Now, again, we worked with a number of gurus throughout this process, and so we solicited their feedback as well, and they confirmed that those indeed are the top 3 items to consider when dining out. As you can see, the Maple Valley Steakhouse stacks up very well against our competitors and exceeds in every single area. I'd like to talk a little bit more about how we're going to do that. The first of which is atmosphere. Now, the Maple Valley Steakhouse has a significant advantage in that we're constructing a brand new facility from the ground up. This will allow us to design a restaurant that leads to efficient service and privacy for our guests as they're dining. We plan to partner with some great designers to help us infuse an atmosphere that's welcoming and warm, but also exciting and encouraging people to enjoy their time while they're there. The next is food quality. Now, we're partnering with a wonderful executive chef who will design a menu that will cater to every steak lover's dreams. But we also recognize not everyone loves steak, so we'll ensure that we'll pull in some of the Northwest infusion and, for example, seafoods or other unique dishes available only in the Northwest to cater to a number of people within our target market. And then finally, price. Through many discussions with our target market, we found that their optimal price point is approximately $25 per entree. So we plan to design our menu around that price point, and we'll discuss a little bit later in our financial projections, but we find that this is a great place to be. It not only allows us to remain profitable as an operation, but also compete effectively against our competitors. I'd like to talk a little bit now about the operations of the Maple Valley Steakhouse. As I previously mentioned, we're going to construct a brand new facility from the ground up. Our restaurant will be approximately 3,000 square feet, with 60% of that focused on the dining area and the remaining 40% for our kitchen operations. We'll be located just in the heart of Maple Valley, right off of a major thoroughfare. So we'll have a significant amount of visibility and ease of access for our customers, and we're confident this will be a great way for us to get started. The next important thing will be our management team. Myself will be acting in the role of president and CEO. I bring over 10 years of experience within the finance industry, and I'll be tasked with overseeing the general operations and helping out wherever I can and providing strategic direction to the restaurant. But with me will be two very important key members of our team, the first of which is an executive chef. Now, we don't have this person identified, and we may rely on the help of our investors to help us partner with the right person, but we're seeking someone with 10 to 15 years of experience. And specifically, we're looking for someone that has an ability to develop exquisite menus, provide new, fresh perspectives on offerings for our customers, but someone who's also experienced with the startup phases of a restaurant. We recognize that no new business startup goes without any hiccups, so we want someone who's been down that path and well-versed in what potential setbacks or roadblocks might come up. Additionally, we're looking for a dining room manager. Again, this person should have 10 to 15 years of experience in restaurant operations. We'll rely on them to help us operate the front of the house, and again, someone who has the experience of the startup phases of an operation and can help us through those tough growing pains. In addition to our wonderful management team, we're going to have an advisory committee, as you can see here. Now, the members of this advisory committee are actually some of the gurus whom we've been working with throughout this whole process. The first of which is Cheryl Dunham. Now, Cheryl is an owner of Divine Wine Bar in Maple Valley. She's been a small business owner for over 10 years. She's very experienced with operations within the Maple Valley community and understands how customers react to various tactics with regard to restaurant operations. The second person that we have on our advisory committee is Dave Duffey. Now, Dave has a number of years of experience as a bar manager at Twig's Martini Bar and Bistro in Spokane, Washington. It has multiple locations and a very dynamic business environment. In addition to his experience, he has a number of years of experience working in a number of various positions within the restaurant industry as well, and brings a wealth of knowledge. The final person that we have on our advisory committee is Brian Lisser. Brian has a degree in hospitality management from Wazoo. He currently works as a food services supervisor for Kent Medical Center in Kent, Washington. Brian brings a unique perspective because he understands how to manage teams, how to motivate employees. But one of his key skills that he has that we're excited to leverage is his ability for proper inventory control. Working within the hospitality industry for so long, Brian has experienced both the ups and downs of operations and can help guide us through the challenges of growing our business. Now, again, with the help of our advisory committee and wonderful management team, the Maple Valley Steakhouse has some really big long-term goals. The first of which is to achieve $2 million in annual revenues within the first 3 years of operation. From there, we're expecting by year 5 to begin looking for expansion opportunities within Western Washington. We're really optimistic that there's other communities lacking adequate steakhouse options. And through strong financial performance, we expect we'll be able to self-fund the opening of a second location sometime around year 5. Now, up until this point, we've achieved a number of important milestones, yet we have several more to go. Looking forward, we're still waiting again to partner with the right investor, which will allow us to invest in our commercial land and begin construction of our facility. By the end of this year, we expect to identify the staff that we want to bring on board and start training, with an ultimate goal of opening for operations by February of 2017. Although we talked a little bit about our long-term strategy and goals, another important piece to touch on will be our exit strategy. Again, due to our strong financial performance, we're optimistic we'll be able to maintain a strong brand image. Again, with the opening of additional locations within Western Washington, we're very optimistic that the Maple Valley Steakhouse will be an attractive investment to any number of restaurant investment groups. Turning now to the financial performance, we forecast that the Maple Valley Steakhouse will achieve annual revenues of $1.5 million in the first year and steadily growing up until $2.2 million in annual revenue by year 5. Based on our forecasts, we estimate that the Maple Valley Steakhouse will break even by July of 2017, or about 11 months after we purchased the commercial land. So we're expecting to ramp up quickly and achieve that break even, and then move even further into strong financial performance afterwards. At year 5, we forecast a total return on investment will exceed 150%. So this brings us to the conclusion of our presentation. What we're looking for from an investor. For a 45% equity stake, we're asking for $1.365 million. Now, this investment will be broken out into a number of pieces. The first of which will be a $1 million loan, amortized at a rate of 5.5% over 25 years. The funds of which will be used to secure our commercial land and construct our facility. However, please note that our expectation is after 5 years of operations, we'll be able to refinance any remaining balance with a commercial bank and return any principal balance to you as an investor. The second piece will be a $65,000 commercial loan at a rate of 7% over 5 years, the funds of which will be used to outfit our commercial kitchen to deliver quality service to our customers. And finally, $300,000 will be invested as equity and used for working capital needs to support our business. We forecast that at the end of 5 years, your equity investment will be worth just shy of $750,000. That represents a 149% return on investment. We're eager to get started and sign with the right investors. We hope you enjoyed our presentation, and we look forward to working with you.